Yeah, Mutep.
Ank Uja Sine.
Chua. Once again, we are with the Per Ankem Teuti, and today we're doing something very different. We're doing a recording in English,
for the English speaking.
For the English speakers, yes. So today we are with AmmasuBaba Kinkela wa Zulu and Kanefera Kutinechia from the Per Ankem Teuti Academy. And today was actually a question that we keep on getting from our followers, from our students, and from all the members of our community, which is Baba Kinkela, why did you leave Europe?
First of all, I want to thank someone who pushed me a lot into the direction of doing my presentation in English, and then I will thank Miriam. I did already in the past. In the past, I did something in English, but she pushed me toward that direction, and this is the one realization where she put me through. So, the question was again?
Why did you leave Europe?
I didn't leave Europe. I abandoned Europe.
Oh.
Even UK abandoned Europe.
That is true with the Brexit.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody has abandoned Europe. Even America has abandoned Europe. Mm-hmm. Today, Europe can't anymore rely on the protection of America anymore. Because, why? Because the America today is Chinese owned. The Chinese own America. And Trump has been talking about that a lot, but he wasn't listening. So, let's go back to the topic. The topic we're talking today is that why did I not leave but abandon Europe? I've been talking about this subject for the last 3 years or so. And I've been saying that the world is changing and we need to know in what direction it is going. And for us to be able to see what direction the world is going, we need to go out of our self-interest. We need to be able to see the big picture. In the big picture, nation comes up and go down, empire comes up, go down. And in this particular time, something is rising. I'm not going to talk about that today, maybe next time, but I'm going to tell you what's going down, and Europe is going down. And me leaving Europe, as I've been saying in the past 2 or 3 years or so, will be the sign that the shift has had the big time. Now, when you consider Europe, you gotta pay attention. It's not only the continent, Europe itself. You know, you need to be able to see it more extensively, you know. And then I would like you to go into what has been happening in Africa, for example, which is in European as a whole land, territory. The coup you have having in Africa. Now, you didn't have the coup only in Africa, you have the coup in Haiti as well. You have the coup in Haiti as well. Now, see what is happening to Australia. When you don't understand the way the energy works, the cosmic energy works, the earth energy works, and the people energy works, the event energy works, you might get confused about what's going on the road right now. What I'm talking about. Yeah, well, let's start for the perspective of the human understanding of the event. What you see right now is like in Europe, you have conflict, fight between the police and the people. Okay? From the outside look, it looks like people are fighting for the freedom. They're going out the street, freedom, and they smash. No, conflicts, you know, ends up, it happens, as you've seen in Melbourne, where they try to impose a third lockdown, okay? People get raw on the streets, smashing stuff, fighting. You see the image, when you go look Melbourne, Australia, Melbourne, the image are quite strong on what is going on right now in that country. And the same thing we have been seeing in Europe as a whole. putting inside you as well. They may try to run off of it, but they won't be able to run completely out of it. Now, if you come where I'm living here in the Middle East, you're going to see a different situation. What you see is like people go with the law, you know, and people obey to the law because the Middle East, you have the religious states, I think. So what you may get confused or you might get wrong is when you consider it as, okay, in Europe, people are fighting for their rights. So it's good. They're fighting for their right. And Middle East, there is no right of doing so. Now, the reading I just gave you is a human reading, a political reading that everyone will tell you. It's not, you don't need any magic or any high competence in understanding the patterns of the energy to come to this. Now, let's give you interpretation for someone who is a professional of energetic war, who have an understanding of energetic war. You need to understand that the feeling is very important. So we live in the material reality, but we don't just live in the material reality. This is our focus that is topped. Our focus has been forced to only observe, see, and feel the material reality, but they are the reality, energetic reality, where we still aware with our consciousness operates on different level of reality, but our focus is locked in the physical one. That you know that from anything you do, as it is written, so above, so below, as I had it, so inside, so it's outside. What happened in the energetic level impact the physical realm. So now, when I say energetic level, probably think about spirituality or what I'm talking about. No. Spirituality starts right there in your feeling, the way you feel. That's spirituality. The way you think, that's spirituality. Okay? The way you organize your inner world, that's spirituality already. Everyone practices spirituality in some level. The difference is that consciousness and unconsciousness and control and not control.
Mm-hmm. That is very interesting. However, sometimes we feel like the laws or the requirements are for us to act in a particular way, even though we know, for example, it diverge fear in our environment, or it might make us actually be less trusty of each other. So what you do in the face of all this adversity, how do we actually respond to it?
Well, the first thing first, you gotta know that the purpose of spirituality. Okay, the purpose of spirituality was not to get you in the even, first of all. I mean, in the core, okay, of spirituality. Spirituality is a healing process. And the healing process starts right in the spiritual level, the low spiritual level. You have the low spiritual level, you have the physical level, and you have the high spiritual level. The low spiritual level is the word of our feeling. The high spiritual level is the word of our intention. Make that difference. You have the law of our emotions, instincts that we pretty much don't control at the beginning of our life, and we need to gain control over it. So to evolve into the world of the high spiritual world, which is where our intention. So it's important to start with that. We need to know that emotions, sensations make part of the lower spiritual realm. Okay? And from that realm, you have like a triangle like this. You are here, okay? You're just in the top. When you left yourself dragged into the low level of the emotion, jealousy, anger, pain, fear is the biggest of it. You live into the demonic world, the world of destruction, where you're controlled by the King Alam and the Anunnaki, the bad one. if you express in this world here, there is no evolution. There is only distraction and control. You hold by this entity that you attract by the law of attraction. Because you vibrate, you gotta pay attention to how you vibrate. How you vibrate attracts a higher being that incorporates that polarity of energy. When you vibrate jealousy, you call entity of jealousy. And fear is the biggest of it. Fear causing entity that took over, work in you. The other side, when express love, compassion, joy, and empathy, okay, you can evolve into the realm of intention. So what you see happening in Europe is like people going out expressing their anger. Thousands of people going out there expressing their anger. Can you imagine this if you sum that low-level energetic world, spiritual world? What can it attract? Mm-hmm. So what the question is not there manipulating you to go out there to express that kind of negative, because it's a ritualistic thing. Mm-hmm. Rituals is a gathering of many people to express a type of energy. When you go to the spiritual gathering, you need to express joy and through hardship. You need to express love. But you gathering expressing negative energy, it's a ritual as well. By what now? You call what you think that you're doing for freedom. That's where they want you to be and to believe. But what you're doing is surrounding a higher level of negative entity energy that will come and possess you.
That is so interesting, because before this time, actually, I think the world was actually moving towards a good direction. They were moving toward the direction of like peaceful protest of like hunger, not eating, and
sitting on the ground. Now everything is shifts.
Everything is shift because we were getting to a level where awareness or consciousness was being portrayed in different ways. We had the yoga, we had like different movement actually using peaceful protest. But now we got to the level where people are so stressed out.
You know, you can't only express anger. If you're so stressed, you can't express joy. You can't see someone who's so stressed expressing joy. You can't only express anger, and anger is like a phone number you're calling. Imagine that's anger, frustration. You know, frustration called anger, and anger is a phone number. All of you are dialing that numbers. Mm. Now, who you calling? Him, you don't know. You're not aware of that. What you see in the Middle East now, someone will criticize it where people have been put in line, okay? And everybody obey to the religious party. You may think that, but obeying, you know, to a religious party makes that you don't express negative thoughts. You're expressing love. And I will bring in mind something that happened in Japan. Japan was struck by the Fukushima. Okay, that was supposed to destroy the Japanese economy, because other region, okay, will have had to pay money to America to send them food. That money that they will give in America will never come back. Okay, so that would have destroyed the economy. They understood that. What they did, they eat the Fukushima food. Did they die? No, because love can destroy any evil. Because the deed of love will respect the evil has been destroyed. So the M phenomena is in play now. When in a you gotta understand that in a situation where people are forced to take the benediction, okay, they made the new benediction of the new church. If people are forced to take it by be threatened because they're threatened because they say you're gonna lose your job, okay. You whatever you go, you expressing a frustration. Because I won't be able to travel anymore. You're expressing a frustration.
Or a fear. You're doing it out of fear.
You're doing it exactly. You're doing it out of fear. The negative impact is gonna be there. But what else for example, where you come to the Middle East, there is not impact. People will rely on the religion. and they believe that their authority, because they are predominantly religious one, if they do something, they do it for the good of everybody. So they are not really forced the way we see it in, they're not doing it out of fear, but they are say, okay, I trust you. We trust our leaders. They're saying, we trust our leader, and therefore, if our leader said that we should do that, we go do it.
I think it goes even beyond that, because the people that I have spoken to, they've said, like, yes, I'm doing it because I trust the divine power.
Exactly.
You know, I trust the higher power, knowing that the divine power is going to guide me and is going to protect me. And most people will be caught on the names, and I think usually we fight on the names, but the reality is, whether you call it the universe or whatever you want to call it.
But you call it Allah. You know, for many years I thought, myself included, that Allah was the name of a particular name, a particular God, you know. But I come to understand that Allah is just saying God in Arabic. The source in Arabic, you know. It's
the
like
European education does that to you.
Yeah, it does, and it's not where you did Nzambiampungu in Kikongo and Nkulunkulu in Zulu. They are not Omawe Janangila and in Chiluba. They are not two different gods. It's like the same being that's called different way, you know. It's like someone gonna call me Zulu, some other gonna call me Baba Zulu. Some people call me Baba Kinkela, and some you call me AmmasuBaba Kinkela. Still me, I will change, but the concept is the most important in that. So when something is done out of loyalty, the energy changes, because what is expressed is love. What is expressed is not anger. What is expressed is not frustration, and that makes the difference out of it. That makes the difference out of it. And this situation I have come to experience right now puts Europe one of the darkest places to be living right now. Because the amount of accumulated and still accumulated frustration, they fight in the country. The low level of spiritual energy emitted by every people. You have the VATs, the non-VATs, the against that. Everyone has an enemy. Everyone has an enemy. And what the purpose of his enemy is expressing negative emotion. And the negative emotion, which is fear, anger, frustration, that link process. You're calling something, and that something gonna come when it gets up. It's gonna be nasty. That what I say from the beginning, like 2 years ago, when you see me living, abandoning Europe, you know, and you know what's coming next. What's coming next? What is coming next? I'm gonna leave that for the next emission. Do I mention to all of you? Thank you to you for having me following. If you have any particular question, you know how to find me. Unc Uja Sene.